Let me do it this way. So buying power is a subset of the black capitalist mythology. One of the flaws several of you have been kind enough to point out to me, and rightly so, in my work on buying powers, I've not properly defined capitalism or black capitalism. So forthcoming work will seek to do that. It's already been done. Manning Marable, with all due respect to whatever I had to say about the book attributed in his name regarding Malcolm X, he's done a lot of other great work, including identifying and assessing the mythology of black capitalism, giving it a definition. I was just looking at that the other day, but I've also just been rereading the new introduction to the classic from Earl O'Farry Hutchinson, The Myth of Black Capitalism, which was produced 50 years ago initially. Its new edition was just released at the end of last year. I've read at least the introduction. I don't think much has changed beyond that, but I'll certainly look into it. And argues that essentially, much like E. Franklin Frazier did, that all black capitalism does is, and Abram Harris before that, just argues that black capitalism just creates a black petty bourgeoisie, a black elite, a neo-colonial subset of the ruling colonizing elite, and that looks to enrich itself and purport to represent the best interest of the black community, but ultimately doesn't and cannot. Okay, I think that was it. So let's go back here. So this shows up in my emails from Entrepreneur. Celebrating Black history and culture is the right thing to do and good for business. Here's how.
Message!
So again, perfectly in line with the buying power mythology and why, as we'll see, McKinsey has gotten more involved in it and why others are so interested in it, particularly as it pertains to black people, is that it rebrands black liberation and black history as about becoming a good American, a good middle-class American, and that ultimately does it in a way that is safe for the ruling elite because it's good for business. And by that, they mean, as they say here in their key takeaways, effective Black History Month marketing requires genuine cultural engagement. I don't know what happened here with their text, and offers substantial long-term financial benefits. Culturally, marketing fosters consumer engagement, loyalty, and retention with conscious statistics. I don't know if, again, this is a misprint or what's happening with the display, but I love this. Conscious statistics showing a preference for brands that authentically represent race or ethnicity. In an era where cultural consciousness plays a pivotal role in shaping consumer perceptions, Black History Month offers a significant platform for brands to demonstrate their commitment to the Black community. I love that. It's not a time to reassess the behavior, treatment, abuse heaped upon the actual condition of Black people. No, it's a good time to reassess how this can be, how this can be advantageous for companies to demonstrate their commitment to the Black community. However, beyond the ethical and social advantages, there lies a critical question for executives. What is the return on investment of Black History Month marketing efforts? ROI, baby. That's the critical question for executives. Now, as this author says, as a proud Black marketer, they're aware that Black marketing should not be confined to just 1 month. These efforts should be part of an organization's overall multicultural marketing strategy.
Message!
And why? Because Black buying power, the consumer market, is projected to be $1.8 trillion and stands as a testament to the economic potential of the demographic. And again, when they say economic potential, as a Black marketer, they're not saying economic potential for Black people. This is how the mythology gets recreated. The potential here of this demographic is enriching marketers. They again make this absurd comparison to the GDP of Mexico and the Netherlands. Again, gross domestic product is not a measurement of inequality within a country. It's not a measurement of income or wealth. It is a measurement of, roughly speaking, the revenue generated by those who own the economy. So that's why they're not concerned with anything other but GDP, especially as a marketer. Now, when you click this 1.8 trillion because you want to get the source and you want to know what they're talking about, what you're taken to is to this page here, NIQ, which is the rebranded Nielsen survey, consumer survey project. And they've just given it a new upgraded brand name, but it's the same old thing, the projection of $1.8 trillion, because again, these are all projections and estimates, as they say in their own literature. Has nothing to do with income and has nothing to do with an actual, or it only has anything to do with income in that it may be somewhat equated to or the overall income of all working Black people, as if to say, if every penny spent by every Black person who earns can be turned over to the corporate world, that is somehow a good thing. Now, but again, it is not a measurement of income or some pool of wealth that can be invested and flipped or done with whatever people want. So, all right, but I just wanted to at least quickly show that that's, again, when it looks like they're offering a source, it's the same one of now three, and then here they make a reference to another of the big three, that is Selig, Nielsen, and McKinsey. They make reference to McKinsey here, and if we have time, we can at least look at a little bit of a video that they have included. It's just wild, a little almost hostage style marketing video. The crux of effectively engaging this market, particularly during Black History Month, lies in developing marketing campaigns that authentically resonate with the Black community. According to McKinsey, research shows that Black consumers are much more likely to seek out and place emphasis on brands that are trustworthy, have a clear social mission, appeal to their cultural values, and generally have credibility among the Black community. By the way, nowhere in there and in the broader discussion and the work that is referenced here do they talk about any of that meaning that it's actually a Black-owned company. And as I've talked about before, the conscious consumer is described by Nielsen. They'll be good if you just hang some kente cloth in the window, and that will somehow endear you to them as a business, according to their claims. And again, you have Google, Adobe, Deloitte, all these major outfits doing this research, not because they're concerned about the actual economic condition of Black people, but they're wanting to promote all of this only in the context of marketing and consumption. A study by Google found that 66% of consumers are more likely to return to a brand with advertising that authentically reflects their race or ethnicity. Similarly, a Deloitte study found that 57% of consumers are more loyal to brands that commit to addressing social inequities in their actions. Also, an Adobe survey revealed that 38% of respondents are more inclined to support brands that showcase diversity in their advertising. Additionally, 34% of consumers have boycotted a brand at least once due to a lack of representation in advertisements or actions. And that's why you need to authentically engage Black people, especially during Black History Month. Now, if we go back up, I think I went past it at some point. But if you click on one of these references to multicultural, where is it in here? Yeah, if you click on this link as a reference to multicultural marketing, what you get is you get this gem of a story about what the Barbie movie can teach businesses about effective multicultural marketing. And this is just fantastic. Key takeaways: collaborations, multiculturalism through music, digital platform engagement. And what this story is saying is, look at how well Barbie demonstrates perfectly for marketers how to engage the multicultural consumer, particularly Black people in Black History Month, is the point of them linking us back to this story here. So Barbie, the iconic doll brand, which debuted its movie last summer, to date, the dolls have 35 skin tones, 97 hairstyles, and 9 different body types. And what I just learned myself was that Barbie also recently designed its first doll with Down syndrome in partnership with the National Down Syndrome Society. What what more could anyone hope for? The Barbie movie made its point to collaborate with multicultural artists and leverage digital platforms, creating an avenue for diverse. By the way, the point I'm getting at with the comparison to the National Down Syndrome Society is that, again, any group that has any oppressed or aggrieved condition is encouraged to respond to that by appeals to corporate communities, marketing worlds, by attaching themselves to brands in the hope that some money will float on down to them and whatever work that they're doing. As it pertains particularly to Black people, but as I would argue was the case with any other group, including the National Down Syndrome Society, the argument would be don't get politically active more than this, or don't get more politically active more than this being how you think you need to engage electoral politics. That is, the corporate world gives you a bag, you take that bag to a local commercially sponsored mainstream politician, and then hope that they will do your bidding when they get into Congress, knowing full well, or we should know full well that congressperson has likely been given a even bigger bag on the other end by the same entities that gave you a smaller bag so that they could do ultimately for the bigger bag what it is that they're to do in the first place. So this idea that as it pertains to Black people, that Black people can somehow siphon off some of this money, then use that to properly engage the political arena is exactly what is the goal here, and it's exactly what would not work, and why it is their goal, and why our only hope is in political power through mass movement and so on. So, okay, but the Barbie movie made a point to collaborate with multicultural artists and leverage digital platforms, creating an avenue for diverse audiences to feel seen, represented, and included. To feel seen, represented, and included. It's just, that's the goal here. So what do? They go get folks like Issa Rae, the award-winning actress and producer, to make what they call here a notable partnership so that she can help them embody and champion diversity, equity, and inclusion. Additionally, the film has a diverse cast that reflects today's multicultural world. While Barbie prides itself on being the most inclusive doll line and its actions show its commitment to the multicultural community, it is expected that Barbie's diverse on-screen representation will result in a spike in ticket sales. In fact, a study by iMWiL found a correlation between a minority group's representation on screen and that group's audience turnout, while some groups attending in numbers at more than twice the usual rate. Hence, again, why we need to really dig deeper into the Vernon philosophy of Black media avoidance. That's exactly the point. They dangle a little bit of representation, and then even fools like me, as recently I got caught again, will drag ourselves out there to go see something. And then as you see here, sort of to the point I started with, they make reference to the $3.9 trillion in minority buying power. All right. So when you combine the buying power of all so-called minorities using the same, again, Selig Center multicultural marketing research to make the same claims. But again, it's not to empower any community, it's to enrich and empower those in power already. So the film soundtrack has Nicki Minaj and Lizzo and Latinx artist Karol G. It all makes things seem more authentic, is the point that they're getting at. Millennials want brands that align with these values. Google said 64% of respondents reported taking action after seeing an ad they thought was diverse or inclusive. So apparently people are going out and move. They're actually being moved by these efforts at representation. So at least with the Vernon philosophy, the goal would be as an intellectual boycott, even if you physically go, but there's a self-defensive protective layer in place, then at least the political goal of having even an enjoyable 2 hours in a film not drag you over to the politics that are embedded in the film. That's maybe another way of trying to put what I see as the value of the Vernon philosophy. I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.